There is a beautiful misunderstanding we all carry about aging. We think aging is about wrinkles, about slowing down, about loss. But let me tell you a different truth today. Aging is not about how many years you have lived, it is about how much life is still alive in you. I once met a 72-year-old man during a train journey. He was sitting beside me, holding a small backpack, smiling quietly at strangers passing by. Out of curiosity, I asked him, "Uncle, where are you going alone at this age?" He smiled and said, "Beta, I am not going alone. I am going to meet my childhood friend after 55 years." And then he said something that stayed with me forever. "My body is 72, but my spirit still thinks I am 25. That, my friends, is aging backwards. And today I want to share with you four simple signs that if your body can still do them at 70, you are not aging forward, you are aging backwards. If you can still wake up with curiosity, you are young. There is a silent tragedy in life that most people do not notice. It is not aging of the body, it is aging of curiosity. The moment a person stops asking why, what next, or what can I learn today, something inside begins to quietly shut down. I once met a retired school teacher, Missy Sharma, in a small library corner in Jaipur. She was 74, sitting with a mobile phone in her hand, not scrolling social media mindlessly, but learning how to use digital payments. When I asked her why she still bothers to learn all this at this age, she smiled gently and said, "If I stop learning, I will start disappearing from life even while I am alive." That sentence carries deep wisdom. She told me how she wakes up every morning and asks herself a simple question: what will I discover today? Sometimes it is a new recipe, sometimes a new devotional song, sometimes just learning how to send a message to her grandchildren. But for her, each day is an opportunity, not a repetition. Contrast this with many people who wake up and immediately say, "same day again." That one thought itself drains life before the day even begins. Curiosity is not about age, it is about attitude. A child is not young because of years, a child is young because everything fascinates them. A leaf, a bird, a question, it all feels new. Miss Ice. Shama once told me something beautiful. "I don't want my brain to retire before my body does." That is the essence of aging backwards. When your mind still wonders, still explores, still questions, you remain mentally alive even if your hair turns silver. Because the real danger is not growing old, it is growing uninterested. And the moment curiosity dies, life becomes mechanical. Days pass, but they don't feel lived. You stop discovering beauty in small things: the morning light, a stranger's smile, a new thought. So if at 70, 75, or even 80, you still wake up thinking there is something new to learn, something new to experience, then believe this: you are not aging forward. You are staying young where it matters most: your mind and heart. 2. If you can still walk without complaining, you are strong. There is something deeply spiritual about walking. It is not just movement, it is a conversation between your body and existence. I once met a farmer named Raghav Ji in Rajasthan. He was 70 years old, lean, suntanned, and simple. Every morning at 5 a.m., he would walk nearly 5 kilometers to his fields. Not because he had to survive, but because he believed that stillness in the body creates heaviness in the mind. One day I walked with him and asked, "Don't your legs hurt?" He smiled and said, "If I start listening to pain too much, I will stop listening to life." That line stayed with me. Most people do not stop walking because they cannot. They stop because their attention shifts from movement to complaint. The body becomes an excuse instead of a tool. Raghav Jai said something even more profound. "When my feet touch the earth, my worries forget my name." Walking is therapy. It is meditation in motion. Ancient sages walked for miles not because they lacked transport, but because they understood something modern life forgets: the body heals when it moves. At 70, if you can still walk with gratitude instead of resistance, you are already ahead of many younger people who have stopped moving even while their bodies are capable. Movement is life. Stagnation is slow decay. There is a difference between aging and becoming immobile in thought and body. One is natural, the other is optional. Even a slow walk with awareness is powerful because it says, "I am still participating in life." Raghav Ji once told me, "As long as I can walk to my field, I am not dependent on life. Life is still slightly dependent on me." That sense of dignity in movement is priceless. So, if your body still allows you to walk without resentment, without constant complaint, without seeing every step as burden, then understand this: you are not declining. You are still strong in the most honest sense of strength, the ability to move forward. 3. If you can still laugh at life, you are healing inside. Laughter is one of the most underestimated medicines of existence. It does not come from wealth, nor from comfort, it comes from acceptance. I once met a group of elderly men in a park in Delhi. They gathered every evening not to discuss their illnesses, but to share jokes, memories, and silly mistakes from their youth. One of them had recently lost his wife. I expected silence or sorrow around him. Instead, he was the one laughing the loudest that day. I gently asked him, "How are you able to laugh after such a loss?" He paused for a moment and said, "If I stop laughing, it will feel like I have stopped honoring the time I had with her." That changed my understanding of grief. He wasn't laughing because he had forgotten pain. He was laughing because he had chosen not to let pain erase joy. There is a subtle difference between laughter and denial. Denial hides pain. Laughter transforms it. Many people grow older and slowly lose their ability to laugh at themselves. They take everything personally, seriously, heavily. Even small inconveniences become big emotional burdens. But those who remain youthful in spirit develop a beautiful skill, the ability to smile at life's unpredictability. At 70, if you can still laugh at your forgetfulness, your mistakes, your changing routines, your imperfect memory, then life has not hardened you. It has softened you. Because laughter is not weakness, it is emotional intelligence. It is saying, "I refuse to let life make me bitter." The park group I met had a rule: no meeting allowed without at least one shared joke. Their philosophy was simple: if you cannot laugh together, you will eventually cry alone. So when I think of aging backwards, I don't think of physical strength first. I think of emotional lightness. Because heavy hearts age faster than old bodies. And those who can still laugh are still healing, still open, still alive. 4. If you can still love without fear, you are spiritually alive. Love becomes complicated as we grow older, not because love changes, but because fear increases. Fear of loss, fear of rejection, fear of dependency, fear of vulnerability. But real love is never afraid. I once met an elderly couple in Delhi who had been married for 48 years. The husband had developed memory lapses with age, forgetting small things throughout the day. But there was one thing he never forgot. Every morning he would still walk to the kitchen door and open it for his wife, just like he did on their first day of marriage. When I asked him why he still did that, even after so many years, he said softly, "She deserves to be welcomed every day." His wife smiled and added, "He forgets many things, but he never forgets to love me." That is love without fear. In many lives, love slowly becomes transactional. What did I get? What did I lose? Is it worth it? But true love does not calculate. At 70 and beyond, love becomes purer when ego reduces. It becomes quieter, gentler, more patient. If your heart can still love people without demanding perfection, then you are a true friend. Without demanding certainty, without fearing tomorrow, then something divine is still alive within you. Because fear shrinks the heart, but love expands it. And expansion is youth. So when you can still love your partner, your children, your friends, even strangers, without fear of being hurt or abandoned, then you are not just aging gracefully. You are aging spiritually. Final thought: if at 70 your mind is still curious, your body still moves, your heart still laughs, and your soul still loves, then you are not moving toward the end. You are moving toward essence. And that is what it truly means to age backwards.